answer to your question. I think I do address the question a bit. I just wanted to make a point, and I think it does tie in actually, and that is that I think it is useful for us to distinguish what we might mean when we talk about norms. I think Bill gave us a kind of the evolution of how a norm becomes a law or something binding like law. Between substantive design norms, that is the business of the ICANNs and IETFs of the world, and the multi-stakeholder governance process, which itself, I think, is what is being contested, right? So it isn't, I mean, there are people who think that, maybe that the INF function should be done differently, but I'm not sure that that is the nature of the argument. The nature of the argument is we want to be included, right? And we've been excluded, we want to be included. And so to the extent there's an education that has to happen, it has to be, I think, along the lines of what I think Laura was talking about, and that is an engagement with communities about how to do governance, multi-stakeholder governance.
Other thoughts?
I think you can do it in Brazil, Gene. You have an academic infrastructure there that can support this. With a deliberate effort to go down that path, you could start to replicate the kinds of fora you see elsewhere. It's a harder question if you're saying, what about South Africa? What about, goodness, what about China? I mean, if you're looking about, you have in a number of places, you have a fairly well-advanced academic infrastructure. In others, you have a very big academic infrastructure, but it needs a lot of work. In others, you have nothing at all, where the regional approach becomes more.
I think it's important to, I think it's important to, I think the kind of thing you're talking about, Gene, is essential. Brazil, I think, I agree with Bill, I think Brazil is fully a peer of the United States in being good at multi-stakeholder governance and being good at looking seriously at a lot of these questions from an academic perspective and from a business perspective and from a political perspective. I think that as we look around the world, part of the reason I focus on this particular chart is that I do think we have to take a sectoral approach to these issues. I think that one of the impressions that I hope we can gradually adjust is that there was a view that the world would go to the Internet Governance Forum to answer all Internet policy-related questions. And I frankly don't think that's the right way to suggest we proceed. I think that if there are people who are interested in privacy questions, then there are a variety of venues